It's so unfortunate that in today's age and time when information is in plethora, we feel the deficit in our wisdom. We feel more bewildered than ever before, therefore, more disoriented, and at times resulting into absolute distraught. Why is it so? Because looking at the plethora of information being trickled down on us as we become the recipient or the broadcaster ourselves, we feel that we are governed by some laws unknown to us, but at the same time having its effect being permeated through our actions. Let me simplify this. We all are governed by some form of thought process, aren't we? And what is the origin of that thought process? Let me say you are one of the high rank government officer, and you do have number of people to meet, you do have number of assignments to complete, you have the deadline to meet, and there are people, they want to obstruct your work on purpose, and the reason is there is some vested interest in those files being delayed or being put off to some other day which may not see the light of the day. So if you look at these conditions around you, you know that there are people who would become the obstacle towards the work that you deem fit to do or complete. And these backlogs are just piling up. You know what saps your energy here? Because you being in the authority of it and not being able to stand up for what authority has given you, the power. You see, even if you are at the higher rank of government, may not be able to make the decision that is most appropriate. So what is happening here is, despite all the power you have, you are impeded not by someone else, but by your deficit of wisdom and knowledge. Few of us could actually make our way through that ordeal, but most of them cannot because of the hierarchical structure that we're supposed to abide by or follow, because of so many other reasons, because we have to live in a society. So you happen to say this more often than not in almost all sectors of life. That's why those who would do it talk little about it. They know how people behave. That's why if you look at the conditions in European countries today, people talk little unless they go to some event. That's a different thing. Usually the problem is not talked about, it is understood, and people understand it so well in European countries that it is a norm to believe and behave in a manner which is socially awkward but acceptable. Why? Because it is understood, not imparted by an institution as a knowledge, but it's just understood. The lifestyle people have, the kind of liberty with which they would like to pursue the pursuits of their desire, may be very different from ours, from people living in Asia like India. Well, it will be absolutely outlandish and reproachable. Who knows? But everything is accepted in Europe. The whole idea here is the word shall not be spoken unless it is necessary. Because you have to have understanding. The government official has to have that understanding. Because he cannot say it. If he says it, whom to talk to? If he talks to his family members, spouse, brother, sister, it is of no help. May not be, if they are not of greater importance in their own position. So what happens in here is, the little we speak, the more powerful we become. Because we can gauge through the opinions of other and make assumption based on not what we think, but how they behave and what they think. So without having to blurt out or rattle off, better to take a back seat and listen. Listen attentively. I'm all ears, my dear friends. That's the only way forward. And I've seen this attribute in all greater people in life. And that's how they have achieved this feat of remarkable success in their career, where we mostly have failed because we uttered more than what was needed. So here I convey my message in a way that will be understood, not just be imparted as a message to you, so that we take better cognizance of what we are going through in life. Because I'm sure all of us are going through something or the other that we cannot make a head and tail of. See you soon. Love you all.